everybody. This is Andrew Baldwin from Baldwin Media. Just wanted to share a couple of thoughts that came to my mind as I was kind of beginning this week. Um, each time I talk to students, I get different ideas, right? So I get some students who say, well, we don't learn enough about how the real world works. I said, okay, I can understand that concern, especially when it comes to um, how credit works and taxes and a lot of these different things. And taxes, to be honest, unless you're an entrepreneur, there's not really a whole lot that you're going to learn um, because most of what you're going to end up doing is relying on the company you work for to take things out. But that's neither here nor there. That's another topic altogether. Um, but I started to, I guess, kind of make some connections between um, credit and GPA. Now, there are just 3 points that I want to make here. Only 3 points. Because there are actual connections to these two topics. It's just a matter of understanding what they are and what they kind of represent. So let's start with the most um, common one that most people are going to look at, most students are going to look at GPA. So, what is the GPA? Well, the GPA is simply supposed to be a number that represents the habits that you've had throughout high school. And if you're looking at it and saying, okay, what do you mean? Well, the GPA is calculated at the end of the semester. So usually it's something that you have to keep a habit going in order to have it be favorable. At the end of a quarter, you can ramp up your work and make things seem like they're gonna, work in your favor. But ultimately, if you've had poor habits throughout this quarter, the first two quarters put together, boom, that usually makes a not so great GPA for that quarter. And so what we try to do is we try to hurry things up and fix the grade and make it look like we've been working hard all semester. I say this as this was me in high school, but sometimes it catches up to you, right? It catches up to you. Okay, so how does that relate to this credit score thing, the FICO score? Well, the FICO score is supposed to be a measurement of basically how well you manage debt. And so it takes into account things like how many outstanding credit, you know, uh, what do you call it? Um, Creditors you have. Do you pay your bills on time, or are there any that are delinquent? Um, how basically they can use that information to say, are you a good person to loan to? Now, a high credit score we usually associate with someone who usually does well financially, but more importantly, someone who pays their bills on time. They take care of all of these responsibilities and they are in a great position. Whereas, if we're looking at someone with a low credit score, the thought process is this person is probably poor with their money. They don't really make enough money to manage debt well, and so they may run into issues. Now, what are the 3 points? Well, number one, both are representative of habits. That's it. They are trying to convey what you have done over a period of time. Two, colleges and businesses alike use these values in order to determine the quality of student that you are. And again, that quality is going to be based on their need. So with colleges, they want to know that if you are coming to their school, that you're going to graduate and that you can be an asset to them moving forward. Being able to say that, this person graduated from our school, that's an amazing thing. And so that's the mindset that they kind of go into it with. Now, if we look at the business side, with you purchasing and trying to get everything together, well, if you're trying to get the car or furniture or a house or all of those things, the company wants to know that, hey, this person is going to give us back the money that we loaned them, basically. Because that's all financing is. Financing is you borrowing the money to pay someone else and then you pay them back. Okay? Now, what's the third and final point? In the grand scheme of things, neither one is actually that important. Now, I know I'm saying this as a teacher, and so some of you are probably going to say, Baldwin, what are you talking about? GPA is everything. If I don't get a good GPA, I can't get into the right school. If I don't get into the right school, I can't get into the right program, and all of these things. And many times those are very valid points. But if you're a student who's a little bit more like me, um, my GPA wasn't always the greatest, right? I started off, mid threes. Then I realized I had to actually study. Apparently, that's an important thing. Um, and once I did that, my grades fell a little bit. Now, I didn't drop like 2.0, 1 point anything, nothing like that. But I realized that there are students that are out here who may have, their first year or first year and a half and in high school, they weren't in a good place. Things going on outside of school, things outside of everyday life, and that kind of came back to bite them. Now, can that student still be successful? Yeah. All they need to do is meet the minimum requirements for graduation and or take the GED. If they don't graduate traditional way, take the GED, get the passing score, they get into a college. Now, is it always going to be their dream college right off the bat? Probably not. But that's another place where your GPA gets to restart. And so you can build and end up being that person that, although you barely graduated high school, you're top of your class in college, you can still go on to have a successful career. You can still go on to live an amazing life. And so we can't get stuck behind the number and the number not being where we think it should be. But there's something we have to do in order to keep that number in a good place. We have to develop the habits. That's one of the things that I actually learned. Reading this summer, I read a book called Atomic Habits. I suggest you read it. If you get a chance, just take some time and read it. But the author makes the connection. He says that your GPA is just a lagging measurement of your work habits, your study habits, your homework, and your credit score is just a lagging metric of your paying bills and your managing money and debt. So if we take this all into consideration, we have a lot we can actually do to influence it, and we can actually still end up living the life we want in the house we want with the car we want. We just got to work for it. Well, that's all for this week. What are some of the things that are habits that you've had to kind of change or you're kind of looking at that affect your life's credit score? Not the debt, but just helping you on the way to becoming what you want to be in life. I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Have a great day. See you guys.